Hi guys, my name is Emmy and I'm a photographer based in the UK. I split my time between Devon and London, and I'm doing this video today because I get sent questions by email and on Facebook just asking me general photography related questions and then questions about myself as a photographer. So I thought it would be really cool if I could answer some of those questions via video and hopefully answer it for more people. So I hope this video helps you guys. So one question I get all the time is, do I shoot with a Nikon or a Canon camera? And what camera do I use at the moment? So I have a Canon, and that is purely because when I got into photography, my friend had a Canon and I thought if it's good enough for her, then it's good enough for me. So that's why I use Canon. At the moment I've got a Canon 550D. It's not a professional camera, it's all I could afford. So that's why I have it. It's actually a really awesome camera for the money, and when I do important photo shoots for clients or for magazines, I will hire a camera when I can. So when I hire, I either get the Canon 5D Mark II, or more recently I've hired the Mark III, which is awesome, and I am gradually trying to save up for one of those camera bodies myself. So Chloe emailed me and she said, how did you get the jobs that you have now? And do you have any tips on how to get into your area of work? Well, Chloe, there's not just one straight answer, to be honest, for how I get the jobs that I get. But social media has played a massive part in it, as has having a website of some sort so that you've got a professional space to showcase your photographs. Occasionally I pay for advertising, not very often. If I've been paid for something, then I always want to reinvest that money back into my photography. So if I have enough, then I'll do some form of advertising, but it's very, very small amounts of money in the grand scheme of things. Places like Pinterest and blogs and Facebook, they're amazing to kind of get your work out there and get clients to see you. So my advice would be to kind of invest in a website, get those various social media places that work for you, and then you can hopefully start attracting the clients that you want. Now, of course, you've got to have photographs that represent who you are as a photographer. So the other thing to work on is your photography. And the way that I think about it is that I want to put photographs out there for the world to see that represent who I am as a photographer. And I want to say to people, this is what I'm capable of. This is what I love to do. You should hire me for what I'm doing here. So I guess my advice to you, Chloe, is to sort of focus on the types of images that you want to get paid for doing. And you might have to do it for free for a while, which is what I'm doing right now. And you in fact might have to invest some of your own money into it, which I also do right now. But hopefully that will lead to people saying, wow, like, she's amazing, I'm going to hire her to do that kind of thing, but I'm going to pay her. Chloe also said to me, have you got any tips on how to get your images, as they are stunning and I would love to create images as amazing as yours? Well, that's really, really sweet of you, Chloe, and I'm really pleased that you like my photographs so much, so thank you. This could be a whole new video. In fact, I could go on and on, so I'll try and limit what I'm going to say. But lighting is so important. I'm still learning all the time, always learning about lighting, because it really makes or breaks your photograph. If you're watching this from England, then you'll know that we have lots of really rubbish weather days. So I can't always rely on decent light, so I have various reflectors to reflect light back onto my model. I've got a couple of flash guns, which I am not amazing at using, but I'm gradually getting there, just in case I need to fill in a little bit of light. If I'm looking for, a certain type of image and I just do not have the light from the sun that day, then I do my best to kind of recreate it. So lighting is massive. Also, I do a lot on Photoshop. I don't rely on it, but I love messing with colours. You'll probably have noticed that. I really love colour. So Photoshop for me is like super fun, and it's how I create my style through photographs on Photoshop. Another thing, like this is kind of, I don't know whether this is relevant, but I noticed recently that I always photograph upwards. So if you see me on behind the scenes photos, I'm probably lying down on the floor in a really weird, awkward position because I just like that perspective of being lower and having my models higher. I don't do it on all my photographs, but I've noticed that I do it an awful lot, so I guess that's kind of part of my style if you want to give that a go. You know, it looks cool, I like it. So I'm going to move on. So Ashley emailed me, and Ashley said, if you could give any tips on how to get more noticed in the industry and how to get your work published, that would be great. Okay, Ashley, so it's really tricky, but the way to get noticed, in my personal opinion, is by having your photograph seen. So that includes magazines, so print magazines and online magazines. It includes blogs and all different forms of social media. So magazines, the online and the print ones, they will supply you with briefs, and they'll normally put it on their website. It's a rough brief and you kind of have to stick to it, and you'll create your photo shoot around that brief. Then you will email your photos over to them and stick by their rules, because every magazine has different rules of how you have to submit, and if you don't stick by their rules then they're not happy, and like that's not cool. So do your best to do what they want you to do, and then fingers crossed they will pick your photos for the magazine. If they don't, please don't feel disheartened. It happens to like every single photographer. The amount of photographs that get submitted is just crazy, and they can only pick a really small selection. So if you don't get picked at the beginning, it's not a reflection on you, it's not a reflection on your photography. It's just that the magazine probably had a certain idea of what they wanted in mind and they decided to go another way. It really sucks, but pick yourself up and submit them to somewhere else, or put them in your portfolio so people can see what you've been doing, and then move on, work on a new brief, and at some point somebody will believe in you, because you know, if you keep on going, you will find the right people who are going to have that belief in you. So Colin asked me a question. This is my last question of the video. He said, what are your thoughts on HDR? I just wondered if you thought it was a better way of taking portraits or not. Some people say that it's cheating and more digital art than photography. Some say it's just an extra tool in editing. Would you rely on HDR to get that detail, or would you get it a more traditional way with less time in Photoshop? When it comes to HDR, I've only done a little bit of it, but I think it's really cool. So I actually used it when I was photographing weddings during the summer in Brighton, because I used to live in Brighton. So if you can visualise a really bright sunny day, you've got your bride and groom with their backs to the water, and they really want to have the sea in the image. Like, that's what will make the photo for them. But if you want to expose the image properly so that your couple look, you know, perfect and gleaming and all the detail is there, you're probably going to overexpose what's behind them, which is the sea and the sky. And that's not cool, because then you can't see the sea or the sky. So what I would do was underexpose and then do a medium exposure, and then I'd overexpose, so I'd have all the different detail, but you know, no image was perfect. So then later I put it into Photoshop and try and create the ideal image where there is detail in the sky, in the sea, and in the subjects themselves. So personally, for me, I think HDR is really cool, and that's kind of the way that I've used it, but other photographers will use it in different ways, and it can be done so well. there's like amazing HDR photography out there, and some people specialize in it. So no, I don't think it's cheating. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, someone might completely disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But if you want to do it, then I'd say go for it. So I lied before. There's one more question that I want to answer, and it was by Connor. And Connor said to me, I was wondering, did you go to university for photography, and whether you think it's a good plan if I want to do photography as a career? So my answer to you, Connor, is no, I did not go to university to study photography. I actually went and I did a foundation degree in digital media design. I decided really early on during my time there that it really wasn't for me, and I was not cut out to be a designer. So I started taking photographs to use within my design instead of pulling out stock images, and that kind of got me through the course. Then when I finished uni, I decided to really focus on like getting my skills in photography, and I'd photograph all different types of things, and you know, some things worked out better than others, but it's a learning process, so it doesn't matter. So I think that no, you don't have to have a degree in photography in order to have a career in photography. You just need to be passionate about what you do and keep on pushing yourself, keep on learning, because that's what you do at university anyway. You're constantly being pushed by your lecturers, and you're always learning new things. So if you can do that yourself, then actually you're saving a fortune, really. There are amazing workshops all around the country, and the world, in fact. I know that America has some workshops that I would absolutely love to go to, and I can't afford to get there, but they have them in England and all other places as well. And if you can't afford to go to workshops, then that's okay, because there are seminars online and they are amazing. There's this one website I'm a huge fan of, so I want to recommend it to you guys. It's called Creative Live. So type Creative Live into your search engine, look that up. They have incredible photographers, and they teach you so many different types of photography, and they teach you business skills, social media marketing, Photoshop skills, Lightroom skills. It's just totally awesome. They don't know who I am, but I want you guys to go on there because it's free, and there's so much you can learn, and I am obsessed with it. I watch it all the time, and I just pick up as many tips as I can, and then I implement it into my own work. So I would really, really recommend that, whether you're at university or not at university. The more that you can learn, the better, and the more that you can practice it and push yourself, the better you will get. So I've answered all of my questions that I've been asked over the last couple of weeks in a roundabout kind of way. I hope I've not bored you. I hope it's been helpful in some way. If you have any other questions, I would love to help. I'm thinking of doing some tutorials, but I'd really love to know exactly what you guys want to learn. So I'm still growing, and I'd like you guys to grow with me, and I will help whenever I can. So I'm sure I will speak to you all soon. Thank you so much for listening, and bye for now.